Hi, y'all. My name's Dr. Jo Eckler. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and a coach and a yoga teacher and probably some other things too. But what I am today is I'm here to talk about masks. Okay, so here's what I'm not here to talk about. I am not here to debate about whether or not you should wear a mask. I'm not here to debate about meaning of masks or the effectiveness of masks or any of that stuff. Okay, here's what I'm here for. I'm here for people who want to wear a mask or need to wear a mask for whatever reason and who are having some anxiety, nervousness, maybe even some panic about the idea of wearing a mask or about actually having it on. And if you put a mask on and you start feeling panicky, that's what I'm here to help with. Okay, so that's my disclaimer, right? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm just here to talk about some steps you can take to get to the point where wearing a mask is a little bit more tolerable, a little less anxiety provoking. Okay. The other thing I will say up front is I wish my magic wand worked. I wish that, I could say, like, do this one thing and it'll be simple and easy and it'll never freak you out again. But I can't say that, unfortunately. It takes some work, it takes some effort, and most of all, it takes some willingness to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. Um, it's this thing where we have to be willing to feel a little uncomfortable in order to feel more comfortable later. So, all that said, if you want to, you know, move on to some kitten videos now, totally get it, will not be offended. But if this is something that's really important to you that you want to work on, what we'll do in this series of videos is take it step by step to help you get to the point where you can more easily and at least a little more comfortably tolerate wearing a mask for as long as you need to. Okay, all right. And there's a lot of things that are tough about masks. There, you know, one, there's just like the physical act of putting something on our face that's not super instinctive. It's not super natural. It can be triggering for people who've had some kind of trauma that's related to that sensation. Um, Also seeing other people in masks can be tricky because if you've had a history of trauma dealing with other people where you've had to read them pretty carefully, like pay attention to their body language and facial expressions and things to figure out how safe you were at any given time, losing half a face worth of information can feel scary on an instinctual level, even if you're in a safer situation now. So there's just a lot of things about masks. We've also, at least in a lot of mainstream American culture, masks don't have a really positive association. A mask is it's the Phantom of the Opera, or it's Halloween and we're pretending to be something else, or it's Mardi Gras and we're, pretending to be something else, or they get associated with criminals and bad guys and um, people trying to do something they're not supposed to do. So masks don't have a really positive rap. Um, that can be a hard part too. Okay, so there's a lot of things that are tough about masks. But when we go and we're going to go try and do anything that's tough, here's the first thing that we need, right? The first thing that we need is we need a why. For me, putting anything on my face sets off the pain from my trigeminal neuralgia, which is a neurological condition that pretty much feels like a stabbing lightning storm toothache sort of situation in my whole face. So for me, I got to have a pretty good why if I'm going to do something that's going to set off that much pain. And you probably have to have a pretty good why too. If it's going to set off worry, anxiety, panic, nervousness. Yeah. So think about why this is important to you. It could be a specific reason, a specific person you have in mind. Maybe there are things that you want to be able to do in your life and you need to wear a mask to either go do them or to stay healthy so you can continue to do them. Maybe you're trying to keep someone else healthy. Maybe you go to a job that's really important and you want to be able to keep doing it and still, keep the people around you healthy. So there's lots of whys. Another version of why ties into the kind of person we want to be and what we want our lives to be about. So just throwing some examples out there. If being compassionate is really important to you and you feel like wearing a mask is a way to be more compassionate, then being a compassionate person would be part of your why. Or being a helpful person, or being considerate, like it could be even being brave to work on getting to the point where you can wear one. So facing that fear would help you be a braver person. And that's part of your why. Okay. So that's your first homework assignment if you choose to accept it, is figuring out what your why is. And it can be anything. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it feels meaningful to you. And then coming up with some way to remind yourself of that why. It could be a picture on your lock screen of your phone. It could be a Post-it note. It could be an object. It could be just like a word or a phrase or a song or something that you tell yourself. So be lots of whys, right? So there's two parts to this homework, right? So what's your why? And then how are you going to remind yourself of it? Especially when this gets tough, because it's probably going to get tough, right? And we got to hang on to that why. So there you go. Once you get that settled, scoot on over to the next video, and then we'll get more into this. We're going to take everything step by step. So each video is pretty short. It'll give you a little homework assignment, and then you work on that until you feel comfortable enough at that level to move on to the next step. You get to decide your pace. You get to decide how much you do and don't do. You get to decide if you want to stop altogether. You have complete control over this process, okay? And I'm just here to offer you some advice along the way, or some suggestions on what to do, all right? I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not trying to give you any kind of medical advice. I'm just kind of here to try to coach you along a little bit if this is a process that you would like to go through and a result that you would like to see, okay? So you've been brave sticking with this video. Go and find that why, find that reminder of your why, and then I will see you next time. If you want to know more about me, my website's drjoeckler.com, ECKLER, and until next time.